If you're an ADA holder, there's one thing that is true for us. We are in peak Cardano is dead season. And the thing is, we've been here before. And so in this video, I want to break down the long-term macro charts, but more importantly, the Chang hard fork. What I just noticed in relation to the timing of this Q3 2024 as it relates to altcoin season. I've been doing a lot of video and coverage about when I think altcoin season will be. And I just realized how the Chang hard fork coincides with that. This is incredibly bullish. I think a really bullish setup for ADA. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. Let's jump into the video. I want to start with a couple of things before we really dive into timeline, start talking about Chang hard fork. You're going to start seeing headlines. There's going to be a narrative shift. This is what crypto does. No matter what altcoin or crypto that you hold, there's always narrative shifts. People are so easily just led in terms of whatever the headlines are saying. And a lot of it has to do with price. And it's a really sad thing in terms of crypto in general, because especially when it comes to projects like Cardano, on the macro, and this is a really big piece of my thesis for Cardano, the fundamentals, the underlying technology and how it's built, the decentralization, scalability, and the security aspects of Cardano on the long term are really bullish. So when shorter term price movements are really just kind of manipulating headlines and manipulating the way people think about things, I think it's a rough market to be in, but it is what it is. But with that being said, we will start seeing headlines shift from bearish, Cardano's done, should we be concerned, to things like this, 3 brilliant reasons to buy Cardano before it's Chang hard fork. Lorenzo really put it really well, and I wanted to just go over this post on X. Anyone who claims Cardano is dead has no idea what's actually happening behind the scenes. Think about it. The only thing that's preventing most people from using Cardano is the bad narrative around price. And it's true, because the price hasn't been performing the best. And I want to put this data out there real quick before we get back to that post. ADA's up 88%. That's the narrative. ADA's only up 88% since this swing low back here around fall of 2023. While you have something like AVAX up around 300% since that time. You can just see. So ADA's up around 100%, AVAX up 300%. Wow, ADA's done. But then you start digging in, you start realizing, man, something like Matic is up, I think, what is it? It's like 30-some% if we measure this from the swing low. Matic's up around 40%. And then you look at Link is up around, if we can measure this correctly, Link is up around 200%. So there's a range of like 100% to 300%. And then you have your outliers like Solana's even more. But this does not mean that Cardano is dead. This, for me, means Cardano's doing exactly what it does every cycle, and altcoin season hasn't started yet. So it's the most counterintuitive reason anybody could come up with. And yet it works until one day ADA starts ripping and doesn't stop. And then they come flocking to our DApp ecosystem. And he ended the post by saying, we all know ADA lags behind price. It always has. That's not like a coping mechanism. That's actually a really important data point. And I've been talking about that for a very long time on my YouTube channel when we start dissecting ADA charts, right? And we start zooming out on ADA. It does lag in price. And when we start looking at macro cycles, it's very important. So I want to break down the timing of ADA right now and really talk about Chang hard fork. And before I do, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video. This is ITrust Capital. I wanted to go over just some reasons, and I have some ADA in my ITrust Capital account. I want to speak to that for a moment, but some benefits of having a crypto IRA, because there are many benefits. Tax advantages. IRAs allow tax deductible contributions. That's traditional IRAs. They allow for tax-deductible contributions. Roth IRAs are funded with post-tax dollars, but both contributions and earnings can be withdrawn tax-free in retirement. There needs to be conditions met, obviously. Retirement savings. They encourage regular savings and investing, which can grow over time due to compounding. An IRA really does have this thing about it that kind of encourages responsible long-term thinking. Number 3, investment choices. IRAs typically offer a wider range of investment options. And by the way, everybody, you can hit the link below and get set up with iTrust very quickly. Their form to get set up is incredibly easy. At ITrust Capital, you're able to invest in alternative investments such as crypto and precious metals. Roll over. So if you have a job, you're leaving a job, you can roll over your 401k. An advantage of a rollover is that there are no taxable events that get triggered. IRA transfer, same thing. If you have an existing IRA, it can be transferred into a new self-directed IRA while maintaining the tax advantages of these funds. So iTrust can be that product for you. And then cash contribution. Unlike 401k, anyone with earned income has the opportunity to contribute cash to self-directed IRA, partake in tax advantages. I have this thing with the IRA where it's a very intriguing thought. Having an altcoin like ADA, and then in the top of a bull market, if the plan is maybe not to cash out USD, maybe it is, but maybe to move to Bitcoin towards the top, overheated, altcoins are going way too crazy. You want to prepare for a huge pullback in a bear type of scenario, moving to Bitcoin in an IRA, and you're able to make that trade. It's different than an exchange. You're able to make that trade where there's not this tax consequence for doing that within your IRA. That's a really compelling thing for me as a crypto holder on the long term. So shout out to iTrust for sponsoring the video, and check them out. Hit the link below. Sign up with CCV link below. It's incredibly easy to get started. And the product itself, when you're back there in the back office, really easy to use. So let's continue on and let's talk about the charts now. Let's talk about Chang hardfork. So Lucid over here on X. Chang will be the most influential upgrade in Cardano history, even bigger than when staking and smart contracts went live. We're going to come back to the post, but do you remember last cycle? I don't know if you do or not, if you were here or not. Remember these hard forks that I had on the screen? The Shelly hard fork, this was staking mechanism. This is the Mario hard fork, multi-asset ledger. Alonzo, a smart contracts. Remember just in the bull market, the narratives of each one coming up, and we had these boxes. I forget exactly what they were. I think it was like 60 to 90 days before the hard fork we were analyzing. And there were just these pumps for Cardano. It was really fun tracking that data. Very similar thing on the Chang hard fork that I want to discuss. But the Chang upgrade, if you don't know, CIP69 smart wallets, Voltaire, this new era of Voltaire and governance. We're talking about this blue chip, this top crypto has the most massive governance system in place. We're shifting to that now. Plutus V3, 10x transaction per second, zero knowledge scaling, 100x transaction per second. Genesis, faster consensus. I like how he ends it. $10 ADA. This isn't a price prediction video. Now we go to this and we look at this. So I kind of like what he's actually also saying with, and some might agree, some might disagree, but bigger than when staking and smart contracts went live. So basically, Chang hard fork happening Q3 of this year. He's saying bigger than Shelly, essentially, which was staking, and Alonzo, which was smart contracts. And I think it's a good point to make, because what this does and the new era that this brings into Cardano, I don't think the broader the crypto ecosystem even realizes how big of a deal this is, especially considering how big of a cryptocurrency this is in the crypto space. This is one of the biggest cryptos. As much hate as it gets, this is one of the biggest cryptos in all of crypto, moving to a decentralized environment, community-run blockchain. This is insane, not to mention the scalability factors. So we have Chang hard fork. Now here's what I noticed, and I don't know exactly when the Chang, I don't think there's a date, but Q3, right? We have Chang hard fork. I just placed it back over here, like, towards the end of summer. But you all know I've been talking a lot about altcoin season as it relates to the Bitcoin dominance chart. And then we're going to talk about just what price has been doing with Cardano so far. And I just did a video yesterday about this in terms of when altcoin season will happen. And I found another data point I talked about in yesterday's video in the morning. I posted a video, I believe it was. And it was right around the end of summer for Bitcoin dominance to begin falling. It could very well happen prior to that. Altcoin season could start earlier this cycle around. But between now, it's basically June. It'll be June tomorrow. And end of summer, altcoin season, I think, is kicking off. Maybe early fall. But this is exactly Q3. And so if we have this environment where Chang hard fork is kicking off, it's happening as altcoin season is kicking off, I think we're going to see an incredible narrative pivot for Cardano. And price, regardless of what's happening with Chang hard fork, regardless about all of that and timing of that, price right now is very simply doing what it always does. And I mentioned this on X the other day. From all-time high last cycle to around where Cardano is right now, Cardano is down around, I don't know the exact candle over here, but let's just call it 85 to 90%. Well, this cycle around from where Cardano is, from all-time high to where Cardano is down around 85%. It's exactly where it was last cycle. And Cardano has almost an exact narrative, that is to say Cardano is dead, as it did last cycle. The only difference, everybody, is we have Chang hard fork. We already have all of this foundation. We have the largest consensus mechanism, the most secure consensus mechanism. We have smart contracts, a massive ecosystem that is existing right now. And all of that is happening this time around with Chang hard fork moving to this decentralized environment. I don't know how else to say it. This requires patience. And I realize that that's, for some people, it's just not happening. People want immediate short-term gains. If it's meme season and we're seeing 500% plus gains for memes, ADA better be doing it or it's a dead coin. That's how some people think. But it's not always going to be meme season. It will eventually be altcoin season. I think we're going to see ADA move. We're going to see Matic move. We're going to see Link move. These things haven't performed that great. None of them have compared to certain memes and certain altcoins. But I think that season is coming. And fundamentally, Cardano has the strongest foundation set for a fundamentally bullish altcoin season, a fundamentally bullish move. Meaning ADA price exploding will be driven not by hype, but by the very fact that it is one of the most secure, decentralized, scalable blockchains in crypto, and it's a top blockchain. So these are my thoughts. I wanted to go over that. I probably could have done a better job kind of bringing that story together, but this is a lot of what I'm watching on Cardano. It's a patience game. We'll continue to watch crypto markets in general and see what they do. I think we're entering a really bullish season. I think ADA is going to do really well. And these are just some reasons why. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.